Welcome to my office, Nicholas. I'm glad that you came here seeking guidance in this competitive field of sports science. And I'm glad that you came to me, a professional in kinesiology and sports science, and director of my prideful athletic performance facility.
Oh, good to meet you too. How do you know that this is a career that you wanted, and what values have you put in this direction?
I knew this is what I wanted to do because I've always been a serviceable person and I've always wanted to help people. If I didn't help people, I felt useless, and I wanted to use my gifts and strengths in a positive way. I found my purpose after spending years in middle school and high school athletics and having to deal with injuries and then just not being able to afford the proper physical therapy methods and all that, and then spending time online and in books, finding out recovery methods and just ways to make myself a better athlete. So now I aim to own an establishment that offers the pinnacle of athletic aspects like performance, recovery, nutrition, psychology, and all of that with the top of the line sports. I wouldn't say medicine, but technology that correlates with sports. And with this reasoning and purpose, I knew I wanted to work with people, athletes, and anyone who wanted to improve their life, just their performance, and even their mental health. And so I ended up founding an athletic institution that was public to all who could afford it. And I know many will say that there's Crunch that offers that, but it's not. It's sports specific. It's more public. It's a fuller gym, and I feel like what I offer and what my institution has is more selective and more one-on-one. Um, my institute offers sports medicine teams, strength and conditioning teams, professional nutritionists, sports psychologists, top of the line sports scientists, and cutting edge technology for all aspects like recovery and performance. I basically wanted to replicate the UFC Performance Institute.
Got it.
And thank you.
That sounds really interesting and a great story. So, what degrees did you pursue during college or what university, and what was the cost of your education?
All right. So first I began my associate's degree at Valencia College, and it cost me nothing at all. I had my Bright Future Scholarship and it covered all of it. And I also had FAFSA, which covered all of it. And so I was getting around 2,500 to $3,000 a semester. And so each year I was getting $6,000. I also got it ahead while I was in high school while doing dual enrollment. So I got free Valencia classes. And so I only spent 3 semesters at Valencia, and I got back around almost $9,000 that I saved for when I transferred to UCF for their kinesiology program. The cost of tuition at UCF was around $9,500 a year, and that wasn't including dorming. That was just because I would be home since I'm close. I could commute. And the tuition itself was around $5,000, $6,000. And then I also had to get books, which was another almost $2,000. And then there's, of course, like personal expenses. So with all that, like I said, around $9,500 a year. But with FAFSA and my academic scholarship, I had to end up paying around $1,200, $1,400 in total. That was for the whole year. So that wasn't that bad. And eventually I went and the program that I went into was a kinesiology BA with strength and conditioning, with a strength and conditioning focus. And I also wanted to excel in my field and not just stop at a bachelor's degree. So I went and got a master's, and that cost around, it was about $11,000 a year for the master's, and that's 2 years, so it cost around $22,000. And that's how I got my master's degree at UCF in kinesiology. I didn't get much help while I was in college. I didn't get much help going to the Valencia advisors, but when I went to my UCF advisors, they helped me select classes, and that would be specific for the kinesiology track. And I wouldn't have even gotten there to that point if it weren't for my new student experience professor, Terry Strickland, for helping me and his class, well, him and his class, for helping me get on track and become serious with what I wanted to do.
Hey, that's great to hear that you had such a cheap, cheap university and college tuition. And how did you get to this point in your career, and what does the job require for someone who's interested in it?
So while I was in college, I found an internship at Better Everyday Orlando, which was basically the kind of institution that I wanted to create. It offered sports specific training. They had professionals like D1 athletes before they went D1. They also had, well, and the kids that were D1, they would come back on their off season to help train. They had a professional. He also, I think he had a master's in a bachelor's in kinesiology. And overall, it was just an experience that offered recovery services, training, and that was it, those two aspects. But I gained a lot of hands-on experience while there. Eventually, I stopped interning there after I started my master's program because I needed to focus on it. And after I got my degree, I decided to go to Nevada and apply at the UFC Performance Institute. That's literally my dream, to create something like that. So I went there to get the experience and learn what it would take to build something like that. So there I learned what was being done at like a peak sports performance institute, because these are combat athletes who are fighting at the highest level. And I gained experience with the athletes and the technology and techniques that were being used there. Honestly, it was a amazing experience, and you could find YouTube videos online to see what they do there. They have trainers for your technique. They have psychologists, like everything that I mentioned before in my institution. That's what I based my institution off of. And so for this profession, before you even end up owning anything or becoming a full-fledged professional, let's say you end up just with, well, not just, but you end up with a bachelor's, this profession exceeds that you research new methods of recovery or performance and experiment in order to see what works for specific clients. You need to be organized in order to constantly make new training regimes for your clients and have superb social skills, because all of your client interactions will be one-on-one. And obviously responsibility is a given. You need to make the right decisions so that your clients are safe and trust you to handle them. Overall, this is a career that requires patience and creativity. And if you truly want to help others achieve their peak performance, don't stay too long in a physical therapy office, and try to find facilities with training and athletics-based practices. It doesn't even need to be a facility, even though these are becoming a little bit more common. You could even go into the professional sports field and go to universities and attend their athletes and try to get into their athletic training program. But overall, those are the options that I could give you, and I'm glad that you came here to talk to me today. And I appreciate you and your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Hope you have a good day.
Thank you, you too.